It's actually really funny though that you mentioned that watching the ball thing, because I did the exact same thing on the Cordero Patterson play. Because as soon as I saw that ball go up in the air, I got so freaking scared that I couldn't even look at the wide receiver to see if he was open. I was like, I'm just gonna follow this ball. It reminds me of like a big like Steph Curry 3. Whenever your basketball team is actually like good and in games and winning. Well, they've been in games, but whatever. You get the point.
Yeah,
like,
they've played.
Sometimes when Steph Curry shoots, it's so terrifying. You just like almost have to look away and let the result be whatever it will be. Well, that's how I felt when that Patterson ball went up in the air, and then sure enough, all of the wind sucked out of the New Orleans Saints sails after just an incredible fever dream of a fourth quarter. I tweeted this after the game, and I don't think I agree with it anymore. But I tweeted that like I wish that the Saints just would have gotten their ass kicked because it just would have hurt less. Like I had already made peace with it. It was a burn the tape type of game, but to come back to do all that bad and have all that improbable good go down and come back and take the lead and then to lose it that swiftly and easily and in that manner, hurt worse. Now, I think that with time though, boys, I think as I got farther away from it, I am glad that they fought back and showed fight. And it, because like if that had not happened and we came in here and they had just gotten their ass kicked by Atlanta, then there would be some very real questions about, okay, is this team actually as good as we think they could be? Now, I mean, I think that you're still not feeling as good as you were going into the weekend, but you showed that this is not a team that just going to get blown out on Sunday. Like, this is a team that is still capable of doing some special things, just couldn't get it across the finish line here.
Yeah, I do just hate that when you have a team and you've got good players and great players that are making plays, you feel like you're one position really away from being way more competitive. And I think that's the receiver position for me for New Orleans.
Easily.
Because you've got the backs. Certainly, like Mark Ingram has brought a spark. Like he's definitely got more in the tank than I think a lot of people assumed. Okay? I didn't think Simeon was the reason you lost that game yesterday.
No.
I thought it was the drop passes. I thought that was the major thing that really cost you. When you look at the defensive side of the football, we know what they can be. We know who they are, okay? They can win you playoff games. That defense can win you playoff games. And that's why, in my opinion, I've got to try to make a play for Odell.
And you got to. Dude.
I've got to do everything I can to get Odell because you're still in a position to make the postseason. And not many times within a season can you go get a player like Odell Beckham. And you can say what you want about him. I understand this, that, and the other. He's still dynamic. He's still a guy that's going to be way better than what you've got right now. Right? Nobody's going to confuse Traquan Smith and Odell Beckham. Go make a play, get him, because you've got so many great pieces on this team outside of that. Like, even at the quarterback position, it is less than ideal. But Trevor Siemian, you add in the drop passes, he's probably 31 of 41 yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, even then, that number, you could argue, gets even better because then you develop a rhythm and you gain confidence and all these sort of things. So, yeah, it's not on Siemian. Siemian is who he is, which is, I think, good enough to do what the Saints need him to do this year. But certainly, we all knew the skill positions were really bad. I mean, right? Already going into the game, all the talk was that the Saints needed to get Odell. This was just about as stark of a reinforcement as you could have had. Like, it was very clear. It's like somebody just took a big stamp and like hello, like bonk, like y'all, like wake up.
You just sounded like Biff from Back to the Future.
Hello,
exactly.
McFly, hello. That's basically like Mickey. I need
Danny to make that video.
I need to do some more deep dive into this and the actual numbers front, and we will obviously throughout the day today. But if Odell gets to the Saints on waivers, do you ever even allow him to hit the open market? Can you take on that contract? I mean, we all know that to Kai Harley and Mickey Loomis, a lot of times the cap is nothing but a math equation to solve and then work out in their favor. But I wonder if they actually could pull that off and if they deem it worth it. Just given everything. Because, I mean, it is a big personality taken and everything. But then again, I don't think that they can really play that game of being too worried about that. So, look, murder by drop balls. You know what really made me mad, too? What really made me mad is that you have that beautiful fever dream of a fourth quarter, craziest comeback ever, and then it's all erased on that simple deep ball to Cordero Patterson. But you had one last gasp right after it, dude. Marcus Davenport forced a fumble at a time when you had no business forcing a fumble.
Yep.
Like that. I mean, Marcus Davenport really tried to make all Saints fans love him and make that first round. He almost made 2 first worth it all with one play. Stripping the ball in a situation where the running back never should have given it up to even be touched by a defender, and nobody falls on the freaking ball. I mean, unreal that he got that ball
said they were
going
to let him score. Like they're going to try to let him score in that carry.
Oh, they got that ball out of here and nobody. And then you could say, like, oh, should they let Patterson score? I guess, yeah, right, because you don't want it to come down a field goal. Even then, though, it's like, in the moment, I can't fault the guy for being like, let him score. No, I don't. You don't see it that way. But Marcus Davenport really forced that fumble, dude.
Punched it out.
I mean, and then nobody got on it. That just broke my heart there. And in the end,
the ball did not bounce South Louisiana's way. I mean, think about like the TDP fumble. Shanahan has a great opportunity to fall on that one.
Squirts out of the hip. I mean, the pick right before half was a laser deflection right to the outbound play. It's actually a really good play, too. A really athletic play to be able to pick that ball off.
Did Christian Harris get a hand on that ball?
Yeah, it was batted away. Yeah. It wasn't like off the LSU receiver's hands. Whoever's in coverage just freaking like spiked it right to his teammate. Yeah, so drop passes. Look, again, you know me. I don't sit here a lot in judgment of Sean Payton for obvious reasons. I think he would probably like to have those 2-point conversions back. I don't hate the call to Kamara. I'm a bit surprised in some of these 3rd and 3, 4th and 3 situations that it felt like you're not seeing Taysom as much as you used to when you had better quarterback play, which is weird to me in the short yardage spots. And it feels like 2-point conversion, that's where he'd be at his strongest. So I'm sure Sean would like to kind of relook at some things there. But either way, if we do want to end on a bit of a positive here, everybody else lost too. Like the only thing that happened was the Falcons gained a game on you. I'm pretty sure everybody that you're competing with for a wild card or that is relevant to you, I'm pretty sure they all lost as well. So it's not the worst thing on Sunday. It's just that now this and the Giants game, you feel like you really let 2 slip through your fingers that you had.
Yeah, it's very fair because of where those games were, how they finished, the momentum in those games, and you just know you're better. You are better personnel-wise, coach-wise than those teams. And in a year where just nobody feels like they want to just take the reins and run with them for the most part, like you got to try to get victories like that. I know it's kind of been the theme in the NFL to lose games like that. I mean, come on, Jaguars beating the Bills. Like not even Urban's family thought that was going to happen. Like we all know that, but that's just the way the NFL has been going, right? The Bengals lose to the Jets. I mean, just we can point to 1,000 other cases in the NFL this year.
Yeah, and it was like we said, that was one of my weekend winners, right? It was a weird Sunday. Any given Sunday guy had a big Sunday, as he got to tell everybody at the party, like, I told you, man, in this league, anybody can beat anybody on any day. I mean, that's me. I say that all the time.
So does Al Pacino.
Yeah, die for that inch. When we get back here on Off the Bench, let's close out hour number 2. And look, and I would love for the Saints to get Odell Beckham Jr. Doing a little Googling and reading around. I don't know that Odell Beckham would love to be a part of the New Orleans Saints. So Mike Flory on last night's Sunday night broadcast said that the teams to watch out for were the Saints, the Seahawks, and who am I blanking on? Not the Raiders anymore.
Or Niners.
Niners. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Now, the Niners feel like they just suck. So I don't know that Odell would want to do that. The Saints don't suck, but the Saints quarterback situation does objectively suck right now. Okay. And so, unfortunately, Florio also saying, well, those are the destinations to watch, that Odell's preferred destination would be Seattle. Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're going to hold up, I don't know why Trevor Siemian's called T-Dot now, but if you're going to hold up T-Dot next to Russell Wilson and you're a wide receiver, also, like, you come to New Orleans, you will be the focus of the defense, which maybe you would want because you'd also be the focus of the offense, but you'll be the focus of the defense. You go to Seattle, you get to kind of find your way in the margins a bit, right? You might have some easier to beat matchups with DK and Lockett.
You're also the third best team in the West.
That's true. That's true. But is Odell really upset about winning, or is he upset about not getting the ball?
We talked about being a contender.
Yeah, I know,
right?
but he's complaining his way out of Cleveland, where they're still technically a contender. I'm saying
he'll be the third option though.
Yeah, I know.
In Seattle.
I know. Look, man, I don't know.
That's the thing.
Maybe he wants
because
that.
When Wilson comes back, him and Lockett have a great chemistry.
Yeah,
now Lockett's chemistry
1-1-A.
with Geno wasn't there. Lockett is at his best because of Wilson, and Wilson with Lockett.
I agree.
Okay, and DK is going to get his as well. So he automatically goes to the number 3 guy in Seattle. You have to, in my opinion, you have to want to be the man. Like, you got to want to go to New Orleans, somewhere you're from, and be like, I'm going to be the number 1. Mike Thomas ain't going this year, but I will be there.
I agree.
Like, if you go to Seattle to be the number 3, that just ain't the guy I thought.
No, it would seem a little like it's one of those things where if you go to Seattle as a 3, okay, then then maybe I don't know that the Saints need to overextend to get you to be the 1. And granted, look, the Browns look just fine yesterday without Odell Beckham Jr. as they beat the hell out of the Cincinnati Bengals. But that is where it's interesting, right? So it's all about being a contender, or a preferred contender, but like Cleveland still technically is, right? I mean, they're not in last place in the South anymore. That is now the Bengals. Like, they are still very playoff relevant. Cleveland is, especially now. And so I think he just wants to play with with a quarterback and put up more numbers. And that's why ultimately I don't know that T-Dot and Taysom Hill or whoever else is going to be here is going to be enough to bring him over here. We'll see, though. Maybe the Saints don't allow him to even make that choice, and they go claim off of waivers.
Or maybe some other team doesn't allow
them.
them.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you start looking at teams that could potentially add a weapon, I mean, just because there's not like a glaring need doesn't mean that a team wouldn't want to add an Odell Beckham, right? You look at, let's just take the Chargers, for instance, okay? They've got Keenan Allen. They've got Mike Williams. They've got guys. They've got dudes, in fact. They get about $8.5 million in salary cap space.
Yeah.
If they feel like that only gives them yet another weapon, like we've seen crazier things. So
ooh, damn,
I don't expect teams to claim him right now. But if there's a team that feels like they're one weapon away, and maybe like, you know what, we didn't think a receiver would be it, but we can't get a running back, we can't get a tight end. But if we had that 3 right there, we've got the salary cap space. It's only for 1 year. Let's do it. Let's take a chance. Let's go ahead and make that move and claim this player. So the NFL is a wild thing. It's very, very difficult to predict what's going to happen. The Saints could also do that. Now the Saints would have to be creative in the salary cap space. Like, we know all that, but he can still get claimed.
I mean, so here's where it's interesting, right? For all the talk of wanting to go to a contender, the Browns are 5-4 and Seattle's 3-5.
Yes.
It's not really about that. It's about the numbers. He just wasn't happy. He wasn't getting that. And look at the dad's tweet. His
if he wants the numbers, where are you going to be from the day you step in the facility, the number 1?
Yeah.
New Orleans. It's the only contender you can say that about.
Mm-hmm.
The only one.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad right now and who they have available. Like, there's not another contender. Like, if y'all can come up with one, like, seriously, it's not rhetorical. I'd love to hear another contender where you can step in and be the number 1 from the get-go.
I also think there's something to be made for just Sean Payton's system. I know a lot of people are saying maybe he wouldn't like playing with Simeon or whoever's at quarterback, but maybe being in the system would maybe make up for that in his mind.
And there is proof out there that he does like Sean Payton's system. He posted this on Instagram talking about Sean Payton's.
You did Sean Payton?
No, Odell Beckham when the Saints signed Emmanuel Sanders.
Keep the check mark.
Okay, the best system in the league. This is OBJ's comment on it. We go back. Best system in the league for years. Peyton and Drew been doing that since I was in high school. Best system for real. Okay.
Okay.
But that is T-Dot, not. I mean, if Jameis Winston was still here, I almost feel like he'd want to come to New Orleans above all. I mean, can you imagine? And now I don't know how much of a deep threat Odell remains, but probably still is, right? Can you imagine Jameis Winston with Deontay Harris and Odell stretching the field vertically? There's no point even allowing ourselves that, though, because
can we just go go to Fairhope and get Phillip Rivers and then get Odell as well.
Look, man. I mean, y'all know me. We certainly talked our way into Phillip Rivers 100% last week. I still think it would make sense, but it feels like the Saints are probably cool to ride with T-Dot, and that's fine. Whatever. I mean, again, we don't believe that he was mainly at fault for what happened on Sunday. That was started with the skill positions, which is why you need Odell, which is why I hope he comes here. But he wants to go to contender like the 3-5 Seattle Seahawks,
who are third in their division behind two teams that are vastly better than them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about it. Who are? I mean, so you mentioned who are the contenders that he could be number one receiver on. I mean, who are the contenders? That's another question right now, because Sunday was a huge muddying of the picture kind of day, right? Where everybody kind of like a log jam, where it's the person in the break. Now you got like a pile up going on. I mean, look at the AFC West. Everybody has a winning record. Chargers 5-3, Raiders 5-3, Chiefs and Broncos 5-4. The Broncos are 5-4. When did the Broncos get good? Also, can we clown the hell out of the Panthers now? I mean, going from Teddy Bridgewater to Sam Darnold.
The way they started the season. My God.
There's a clip of Robbie Anderson yelling at Darnold on the sideline.
Oh, I saw
it. Mad.
All Teddy does is win and get disrespected by the teams that he just won for. Like, that's all he does.
Very
like
fair.
Nobody believes in him, but he just keeps. Granted, I get it. He's not going to get you. He's whatever. He's not going to be like the end all be all ever.
But see, now you're talking about him like that too, though.
Well, he's not. I mean, but again, I hate this because yes, I did what I just hate the most, which is like whatever. He's not going to win a championship. Nobody wins a championship, right? Nobody wins a championship. So I don't even care about that. He will get you in the playoffs. He absolutely can do that, and it looks like he's doing that at Denver right now, where Sam Darnold and Joe Brady and that offense has completely imploded. 6 points, bruh. Joe Brady's about to get play call duties snatched from him.
And he was
give me that weave back.
He was interviewing for head coaching jobs.
Yeah,
this offseason.
Yeah,
there was a report that the Saints were trying to trade for Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know if you saw that.
What?
Yeah, they were trying to trade for Teddy Bridgewater.
I heard those rumors. I didn't see the report. I heard those rumors.
The Broncos they didn't want it.
You're like, nah, bro.
Absolutely. The Broncos like,
we got Drew Luck behind him. We're good.
The Broncos like, oh, you got Trevor now. Okay, enjoy it.
Again, though.
No, Trevor's not bad. I know.
It's not.
I know.
Like it might be what it is. But when you drop that many passes,
he just looks so unthreatening. Is the problem. He looks so.
I can't help him with that.
I know.
Like if someone's got a punchable face, they got a punchable face. Like,
he does kind of
look
look like another Manning brother, which somebody pointed out on Twitter, which I thought was pretty fantastically accurate. But yeah, no, I mean, the Saints, the Teddy Bridgewater and Saints relationship feels a bit like the Mark Ingram one, where really both sides probably would have loved to stay together. But it was kind of the context surrounding the moves that forced their hands, right? Like Teddy Bridgewater had to take that deal in Carolina. He couldn't stay and back up Drew Brees another year. Mark Ingram thought he could have gotten paid more. Now, the number they ended up landing at, the Saints would have gladly paid him, but that too was just kind of a casualty of the market and everybody just doing what they felt was best for them. Unfortunately, though, Mark Ingram's not found his way home. Unfortunately, I don't think that Teddy's ever going to, so... What are you going to do? Speaking of Manning brothers, though, be careful going on the Manning cast. What do I mean? We'll talk about it next here on Off the Bench.